Good afternoon. The time is 1:03. Welcome to the final quarterly Transportation Advisory Committee. This meeting is scheduled for 1 hour, but may run longer if discussion is warranted. Please be advised that the meeting is being recorded and all transcripts of the meeting will be available on board docs. We will begin with the roll call. As we're in hybrid form, I'll call on each committee member by name. If you are present, please respond. Thomas Rogers.
Present.
Allison Swint.
Present.
Rowena Bosio.
Present.
George Clark.
Present.
Ben Cohen.
Present.
Kevin Corrigan.
Present.
William Hill.
Present.
Yolanda Hipsky. Courtney Jenkins. Sorry, do we have Courtney Jenkins?
No.
Was that a no?
Correct. That is a no.
Okay. Elizabeth Lampieri. Michelle McKay.
Present.
Bill Roberts. And we have Alex Young at the meeting.
Present.
Okay, our next order of business is to vote to approve the meeting minutes. I trust everyone has a copy of the July minutes. Did we have a motion to approve those minutes?
This is George Clark, Tri-County Council. I'll make a motion to approve.
Kevin Corrigan, St. Mary's County Department of Social Services, seconds.
Awesome. Now that that's out of the way, I'd like to mention a recent memo that Allison shared with me. In order to achieve timelier postings of the minutes, we're going to start approving the minutes via email. I've been told that we're allowed to do that. Or do we need to vote to start doing that?
Did everybody in the room hear that?
So
Quite clear on it.
Okay, so new guidance has come out from the county attorney's office in that boards that do not meet monthly or similar time frame may vote to approve their minutes via email so that minutes are uploaded more timely. So moving forward with this as a quarterly board, after the minutes are generated, they'll go out via email, at which time the board can review and vote to approve, and then they'll be loaded more timely than the 3 months that they are now.
Okay.
Laura,
Okay.
were you
So
just making that informative?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the officer reports. In our last meeting, I introduced the game plan for our ridership survey. Preparations are well underway. I would like to personally thank fellow subcommittee members Thomas Rogers, Rowena Bosio, J.J. Perryman, and William Hill, and our county liaison, Allison Swint, for all of their hard work. We will talk updates presently, but first I wanted to address the next thing our committee should tackle in the coming year. We have to find a way to get the buses that we need, and I'm sure there must be some obscure mandate or special circumstances that we can take advantage of. It's been mentioned that we can't use the assets or cash of a different classification or organization. So my question is, should we look into changing classifications? and how will that change our funding? I would also like for our activities to expand beyond just the SPS system. So I thought now would be a good time to bring up the fact that CSM, or the College of Southern Maryland, could also use its own transit services. Now, I know this can't really be handled by SPS because they expand into the other counties. Where was I? Yeah, we really don't have the bandwidth for that right now with our predicament with the buses. But this was my initial purpose for joining the committee, and I've been sidetracked lately. But as a student myself, I've perceived a lack of access to the same opportunities as those who live near or can provide their own transportation to La Plata. I receive daily notifications regarding what food trucks are arriving to the La Plata campus and what menus will be served. You can only practice and try out for the available sports teams in La Plata. These are, of course, peripheral and extracurricular activities, but I'm concerned about things more like laptop accessibility and coursework. If a student requires a laptop to succeed in their coursework, CSM provides it, but it can only be received at La Plata. Your professor is not allowed to bring the laptop to you at your own class at a location that is convenient for you. I'm also concerned by the number of programs that seem to have been moved to the La Plata campus in recent years. Now, there's much more research to be done on my part, starting with an assessment of need. Distributing a survey to the student body shouldn't be difficult, as our friends at the Healthy St. Mary's Partnership just did it, and we will also be looking to do the same with the ridership survey. If availability of professors is a challenge for CSM, we can't help them hire more professors, but we might be able to help them identify a grant program to obtain their own busing capabilities. So, any questions with that?
No,
I'd really like to tackle that issue in the coming years.
Yeah, George Clark, Tri-County Council. I'll make, I guess, more of a statement. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the nursing education building is almost complete at CSM and Hughesville's campus. So all three counties will now be going to Hughesville instead of La Plata. Also, my understanding is that CSM plans to move all sporting events from the La Plata campus to the Hughesville campus to make it more central for all three counties. Particularly Charles, Calvert, and St. Mary's has a bus transfer point there in Charlotte Hall, just a couple miles up the street. So please be aware of that when you're, you may want to reach out to me and I can hook you up with some people at CSM to get more details on it if you like.
I would also,
Sure,
Kevin
I'd like
Corrigan,
that.
I also have a suggestion that you would potentially incorporate CSM's driver program into that if you're looking to try and get a bus system for the college specific, but they could use that within their CDL training capacity that they already have and build the route that way, potentially through their driver training program, and use that as a tutorial / atmosphere to learn and develop more drivers for us as a whole in the transportation and for all three communities.
A good idea, too.
Have you collected data from CSM, the number of students that have to transfer from St. Mary's to La Plata right now? Do we have a number?
I don't have a number at this time. That was something I was looking to address.
Okay, because that's the first thing you need to start with when you look at trying to get a transit operation up and running is there a demand?
Okay. I like those ideas. Any further questions with the report? I will, of course, take all of this under consideration as I look to, expand our activities in this direction.
Yeah, and just for a heads up that I know that there's been discussion again brought up at the council with CSM looking at a potential transfer point being moved from Charlotte Hall to the campus in Hughesville once it's up and completed.
Okay. So the transfer point might be moving to Hughesville.
It's just a suggestion that has been brought up. It's been on the table for several years, and now that we have a new president at CSM, we're not sure where they want to take it from there. If they want to have the same, before the previous president was all for transportation and having it there, but the last president that just retired kind of put it on the back burner, wasn't as keen about having the transfer point there. And until we have more further discussions with the new president, to find out if she's indeed, I'm not sure who the new president even announced one yet, but that's something that we can work on behind the scenes.
Okay, that all sounds good.
It's just like Alex Young here, as you get a new captain coming in on base, you know, you got one that's all pro transportation, and then the next one after 3 years gets moved, and the next one's not.
Okay. Do we have a staff report?
Staff report. So Allison Swint with St. Mary's County Transportation. I'd like to introduce the group to Terry Kearns. Terry is the new STS supervisor. Her first day was Monday, so we're initiation by fire. My intent is to use her as the STS liaison for essentially the staff report and to communicate STS things to the group, much like Lachelle represents Leonardtown and George with Tri-County Council. I will still remain on as the staff liaison with Terry as my backup, but she will be providing the information to you related to STS. We just did take delivery of our newest non-CDL rated bus, and that was delivered yesterday. So, you know, lots of jazz hands, excitement, confetti. I'm in the process. I will repost the non-CDL driver position to the county employment website, and we can start again with bringing in non-CDL drivers to train in-house and go from there and build our workforce internally. What else did I have?
Is that bus going to be wrapped, same design? Or are you looking to rebrand it?
No, they're not wrapped. They just have the county logo.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, it's
And
not
a
the county.
stripe.
It's the STS. No,
STS.
we did away with that blue stripe many
Okay.
years ago. All of them are the plain white bus with the STS logo.
Great.
So I apologize, not county, but STS logo. So it was just delivered. We need to work on getting the camera installation and get it tagged and all that before we can put it out on the street. So I've told my team I'm desperate. I want that as soon as we can. So as soon as we can get out on the street, let's get it on the street.
Congrats.
Thank you. And the next bus right behind it should be delivered in January. So we'll have 2. Okay. Laura, that's all I had.
Hey, sounds awesome. Let's see. Oh, and I just wanted to extend a, hearty welcome to the new supervisor.
Thank you.
And circling back to the transportation survey, I'd like to provide updates from the subcommittee. I'm pleased to say that we've finalized the draft, and I've attached it to a presentation as well as sent it to your email. Our goal is to send it to legal for the okay following the main body's approval or application of comments. So it occurs to me I probably should have sent it before this morning. Could we have the presentation?
Give me just one moment.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
And could we go to There we go. So as you can see, we're pretty much done with phase one. We have our deployment locations settled. So I'd like to develop a finalized list on paper. As discussed, we will largely rely on QR code distribution and make paper copies available in select locations such as the Center for Life Enrichment, the libraries, and any place where users might be less techy. We picked up a new recruit along the way, our own William Hill. We have a cutoff date for the survey collection is sometime in June. The things I don't think we fully discussed were peak travel times and an adequate sample space of our non-rider community, or I simply don't recall the numbers that we had decided on. Could I have the next slide, please? So I provided a few example questions in the presentation. Here's the white paper version of question 1. And on the next slide, I have the same question implemented in SurveyMonkey. I do apologize for the readability on these. There's one concern with SurveyMonkey, or two actually. The question format that you see here is only available with the paid version of the site. We also like to provide a Spanish language version of the survey, but that too is a paid feature. So thankfully there are no such restrictions on the paper version. However, I believe we still need to find out from PIO if the county has paid access to SurveyMonkey and if we can use it. Otherwise, come this spring, I could eat that cost, or someone could eat that cost and maybe declare it on their taxes and get a nice tax break or something. I'm not sure. Could we have the next slide?
Can I ask a question, please, Chair George, Tri-County Council? On that first page, I noticed on here you got taxi, Uber, Lyft, Will to Wellness, and others. I know that we have some individuals that use STS to get to one of the 3 county MTA park and ride lots to utilize the commuter buses. Is that something we should put on there, or just have it under other? That data would be important for me. I know that.
Suggesting add.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe, Allison, with your drivers, they only go into the Golden Beach or Charlotte Hall or the Hollywood park and ride lot when requested.
We go to upon request.
Upon request.
Theater lots.
Charlotte Hall Park and Ride, we do.
Golden Beach,
Yes.
Hollywood.
The Hollywood, I'm not positive on.
Please come to a microphone.
Oh. Sorry.
So there are park and ride lots in those locations, and upon request, the STS buses go there.
Okay, with the Charlotte Hall Park and Ride, we do, on request, we do go there. On the Hollywood one, I am not positive if we go there or not. I could check into that for you and let everyone know if we do that or not.
Yeah, now you have 2 in Charlotte Hall. You have the Golden Beach and you have the Charlotte Hall. They're designated through MTA
Yeah,
as 2 different.
we
Okay.
go the one behind McDonald's,
Correct.
and then we
That's
go
Charlotte-
the
yeah,
one over on Golden Beach Road.
Great. Yeah, the Charlotte Hall is the one behind McDonald's. Just when you do MTA, well, they designate which one's which, because people say Charlotte Hall like you and I lived here all of our lives. It's Charlotte Hall.
Right, and that's me. I've known it as all Charlotte Hall. I don't.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, you all do Hollywood as well. When we were having over there for the COVID, stuff.
I know we've
They were
picked
there
up.
on a regular basis and serving for the.
I know we've picked up clients from the Hollywood before, the 88 clients. Previously, I drove for STS.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm very familiar with STS. So, but when we did 88 clients, we would go there and drop them off, and because they would catch the bus to go to DC or wherever they were going.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Yeah,
Best of my knowledge.
that's great. And I think maybe that ought to be a line item we ought to have just to capture. It also gives us the numbers of commuter residents that are leaving the county. Yeah, and it helps when we look at it at the council, like, we know Charles County, 74% of residents work out of county.
Right.
It used to be reversed, like 63% worked here within the county, but those numbers are changing.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's hard to capture, and particularly now since COVID, people still aren't getting on the commuter buses as much as they used to. But we do know those that are transit dependent that do use the lots to get to the park and ride lot are using the buses.
Right, they are.
Okay, so how about a new line in there for, maybe it says something like connection to commuter bus via park and ride, and either, and like in parentheses, Charlotte Hall or Golden Beach
In Hollywood.
and Hollywood.
Yeah, and just have it MTA/commuter bus.
Okay. I think that's a pretty good idea.
We might be surprised when we see a number like that.
Okay, let's be continuing on. Okay, so when the subcommittee meets again on Monday, we'll tackle phase 2, and we'll augment some of these tasks, as we don't really need to do as much in-person handling of the survey or survey collection, because it's largely going to be QR code. And in the places where we leave completed surveys or where we have, or where we're leaving, paper surveys, we can regularly check up on those locations. And next slide, please. So far, we're on track with the originally planned schedule. I hope we can have a finalized draft out to legal and approved before the annual report goes out. If everything goes according to plan, we can kick off the survey in March of next year. Any questions before we move on to reviewing the actual draft?
I have one, but I'll wait till after the presentation.
Okay. Allison, could you pull up the draft survey, please?
Where is that? Like an email?
I can, yes, and I can bring it to the top of your inbox again if you need.
Okay, so I got the presentation. I wasn't prepared for the actual survey. I do have copies in-house, so I can make sure everybody has a copy while I'm between computers here in the meeting room. I also want to let you know that there is just over 8.5 minutes left on this Zoom, and then you on Zoom in virtual world would need to log in again.
Okay, I'll monitor the clock.
But you're not going to finish the TAC meeting in 8.5 minutes.
Right.
So I guess my question is, since I need to pull up the survey for the meeting anyway, do you want to just take like a 5-minute recess perhaps, where I can get the draft uploaded and into the email and everybody can reconvene?
Well, maybe she can answer my question while you do that, okay? One question is, the title, Commission on Transportation Survey, where did that come from?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
The header for the survey is called Commission on Transportation Survey. My question is, where did that come from?
It's informal. We haven't really formalized the title of it, because I've been referring to it as the Transportation Advisory Committee Survey Subcommittee.
Yeah, it should stay, this is just me, I don't know if we need to take a vote, but it should stay at the TAC, your Technical Advisory Committee Transportation Survey. When you put that word commission in there, then all of a sudden people start thinking the Commission of Aging and other departments, and it just doesn't stay formal, as the TAC should be Technical Advisory Committee.
I thought it was the Transportation Advisory Committee.
Transportation, I'm sorry, it is, TAC. I'm on so many committees, I can't keep them straight. I'm on a TAC in Charles County, that's a Technical Advisory Committee. But that's just my suggestion, to remove the Commission on Transportation survey and reword it.
Agreed.
So rename
Do you
or
agree?
retitle it.
I mean, I think that makes sense, so
Yes,
that people
just
know
titling it
who
after
they're dealing with.
This
yeah.
committee,
Yes.
Transportation Advisory Committee.
You sure it's not technical? Okay.
Technically not. Yes.
Okay, so Laura, I have the draft survey, but we still have the time issue of 6 minutes. So do we want to go ahead and just take a momentary recess to restart the Zoom and have adequate time?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Yes,
Okay.
we advise we're going to do a 5-minute recess.
A 5-minute recess?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Do we have everyone back yet? Are we ready to continue?
And Laura, I believe we're back live.
Okay. Okay. So we will probably change the title on the survey for clarity. For clarity for all users. As soon as the link for the Survey Monkey version is ready, we'll add that to the site and post the locations for paper copies of the survey. Okay, so we have one survey per person, and we'll establish the cutoff date and put that in as well.
If I may, Madam Chair, it's not just the title itself. First paragraph, your description, the purpose of the commission should be the purpose of the committee.
Good, yes, good catch.
Okay. We'll add that too. And then could we take a look at question 1? Can you scroll down a little, Allison?
Scroll, yes.
Or I would just say the heading should just be Transportation Advisory Committee, because that's the name of our group.
Okay.
Agree. Okay, I don't know where the, excuse me, where the lines, the divider lines are on this table, but we'll be sure to fix that. So you saw the first question. I guess we can go on to question 2. So for public transportation, that would be, then we're considering that STS, paratransit, SSTAP. We're trying to engage both riders and non-riders with the language, what services or changes would allow you to use or would enable you to, or would allow you to use these services or use it more frequently, sorry. And it's a ranked question.
George, again, I suggest remove those numbers, reverse them. 1 should be the number 1 most important, very important. 2 somewhat, and 3 not very.
Really? Is that the way it's typically done?
What's the most important thing to you?
Hi, this is JJ. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Anybody else in the room have a suggestion?
1 should be very important, yeah.
Yeah, 1 should be very important.
So, can you hear me? This is JJ.
Yes, we can hear you, JJ.
We can hear you.
So the thought process was if we added up all of the 3, 2, and 1, the ones with the most points would be what was considered most important. It was just that was the logic.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Any further questions with this entry?
No, the clarification worked for me. I didn't realize y'all were totaling up the numbers.
I have a quick question. Is there a reason why bicycles are left out in the survey?
That's a good question because the buses do have bike racks, correct?
Yep.
Most.
Most. That should be a good catch.
I see others, but
Buses have
it might
bike
not be as intuitive if you included it.
Most of our buses do have bike racks.
Yeah, I agree, Alex.
So this is This is JJ again. Only because it was about public transportation and not private transportation. I think that was the thought process.
Oh, yeah, because we're trying to engage, what help do people need to get to public transportation. But I believe that this question actually did come up while we were reviewing it in the subcommittee, and I think we had talked ourselves out of adding bikes in here. But so the thinking was, if maybe some people might not be able to bring their bikes. Or at the time we were thinking there might not be enough buses that have the bike racks, so people can't really use that to get around as frequently. But now I'm hearing that's not actually the case, and it might be a good idea to add that back. Is that what the thinking is?
I strongly recommend you add it. I agree with Alex. A couple reasons. There's a push here in St. Mary's to do away with your flag system and go totally to designated stops. Some of these individuals are going to have to ride their bikes to get to those designated spots to take the STS. Just a suggestion.
Okay. I guess that sounds like a good idea.
A lot of
look
our
at
STS
question-
buses have them, and they get utilized quite a bit with our passengers, especially in the Great Mills area. If they missed a bus from somewhere else, they'll ride their bike to the closest next one.
Correct.
And want to take their bike wherever they go. So we utilize them bike racks quite a bit.
Great.
Right, and then we could look at it on the alternative side. If we don't allow those bikes and the ability to transport them, then we're going to need to provide a secure location for them to secure them at the site that they get on the bus. So we aren't providing that. So then you'd have another whole issue going on.
Yeah.
That would potentially come up.
Correct. And the Golden Beach Park and Ride lot actually has a bike locker there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think all of our sites did.
No, that's something the county can ask, particularly with Hollywood being a private that MTA leases, such as same as Charlotte Hall.
About to say the Charlotte Hall lot does not have one,
Because-
but the Golden Beach does.
Yes, because the difference being the Charlotte Hall is privately owned and the spaces are leased by MTA.
Right.
And whereas the Golden Beach lot is owned by MTA and county's purpose is to maintain it.
Okay.
So sorry, just for clarification, do all buses have bike racks?
Not all buses do not.
Okay, thank you.
About what percentage of the buses that are in service now have those bike racks?
I would have to get back with you on that. I could, when we go back to the lot, I can count what we have. I just came on back to STS on Monday, so I have not gotten a chance to count how many are now with bike racks, sorry.
Okay.
And Laura, we'll
Not a
get you the exact number, but it's probably about half. And I say that because we have 21 buses now. The newest edition, I call them the mini, the small, and the medium-sized buses. The minis are used primarily exclusively for the paratransit clients, and they don't typically have bicycles or need bicycles.
Yeah.
With the 21 buses, we took the last order that we received was 10 of them, and if not all of them we're probably at about half.
Yeah, and you're not going to have 100% for that purpose you just mentioned.
Okay. Any further questions here? Okay, can we have question 3 now? Okay, so this next question we want to gauge what times do folks frequently need or want transportation, and this will be a select all that apply question. I believe for the paper copy, at least, the thinking was to have people bubble this in. And on the SurveyMonkey edition, that'll be probably a drop down. Any questions or suggestions with this one?
Yep.
Okay. Question 4, please. We left a spot there. We'll probably have to increase the indentation there. But I think I edited this for readability and to just fit as many questions on one page. But we'll leave a gap there for people to leave any comments that they have concerning transportation. And then from here, we go into the demographics questions. With these, this is the main reason that we have to get this to legal for guidance is the handling of personally identifiable information. So now I'll actually come back to that in a second. So we're going to ask about age, what kind of mobility services, driver's license, reliable vehicles, race, of course. And then on the last page, we have a few more demographics questions. And here, we were hoping to provide as an incentive 1 of 5 monthly passes to random participants, which in order to reach them, we'd have to, again, solicit that personally identifiable information. So that is about all we have there. Are there any further questions with the survey, any demographic information that we could add? Okay, hearing nothing further. So with that, could we have, I guess, a motion to approve to send this draft out to legal with the modifications that were suggested?
Well, I do make one more change, and that's line item number 10. Printed materials left at various areas. I recommend we move in church and replace that with libraries. All the libraries have my MTA commuter bus routes timetables. Not many churches are going to allow you to put that type of information in their church. But I think church should be replaced with libraries. You know, when I started transportation 14 years ago, I didn't realize that people go there, and then I would get phone calls from the different libraries asking for the timetables. They're visitor centers.
Right.
And as you know, STS goes to all the libraries.
Yes, we do.
And with that change, I would make a motion to approve with all the changes.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second. LaShawn McKay.
Awesome. We will forward this to legal for their approval. And okay, moving on into new business. There are a couple of new things to take care of. Evidently, we're supposed to vote to approve our scheduling on a yearly basis. The proposed dates and room reservations are January 19th, 2023, April 20th, 2023, July 20th, and October 19th, 2023, and in the Commissioner's Gallery Room again. So those are, I guess those are the expected dates, but as a formality, we do have to vote on them. So could I have a motion to accept these dates?
With that being said, is that something that you could send us an email again with them dates for us to look at our calendars back in our offices? Or
This is Allison Swint. It maintains the same schedule of the third Thursday.
okay, good. So there's no changes other than that.
Correct. There's no changes. It's just because we're in the commissioner meeting room,
Yes.
the commitment to this room is the group saying, yes, we will
Okay.
be here. We are holding. So we're not
I don't have a
for the
I don't have a
organization.
problem.
And then
Good.
and the committee not showing up.
Great. I'm fine. It's been that way for years, and I wasn't sure if there's any changes.
Nope, no changes.
Great.
Okay, my bad. I probably should have led with that. So could I have a motion to keep the same scheduling going into next year, both time, date, and location?
I believe you already had a first and second. Thought George gave you the first and Michelle gave second. I'll give you.
No, that was on the survey.
I'll give you a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second, LaShaw.
Okay, next order of business, I just want to remind everyone that the annual report is due at the end of the year. And as we did last year, I'd like to hold a special session in December to review a draft of the report before sending it out. So we'll have to establish a date, I'm sure. Could I have a motion to convene in December as soon as we determine a date that's doable?
Laura, I would recommend that the motion be more specific.
Oh,
I thank you for that. Just for the record, it's not on my
Specific as
birthday,
in-
the 28th.
what? Could you say that again?
I was joking. I said, long as it's not on the 28th, my birthday. Hint, hint.
Oh,
Might get you a free cupcake if it were your birthday.
There you go.
Hint, hint. I guess for Laura and the group, were you thinking perhaps the first or second week of December to avoid the holidays associated with the end of December?
yes.
How soon do you think you could have a date to us?
So I would recommend selecting a date, probably maintain a Thursday at the same time for this space, and that would be either Thursday the 1st, Thursday the 8th, or Thursday the 15th of December. I would defer that to the group at 1 p.m., and then I can ensure that the room is available, and if it's not, then we can reconvene with perhaps an email vote at that time.
Or how about the 15th, the third Thursday of December?
Same,
Yeah.
December 15th.
Okay.
Okay.
I would agree
And
with that.
what is the, like, how do we know that the room is available at that time? What is the backup plan if it's not?
Then we go to an email vote.
Yeah, we'll go to email vote or?
Oh, for the draft, right?
Yes.
Okay. Could I have a motion to reconvene for a special meeting to approve of the draft of the annual report on Thursday, December 15th at 1 p.m., pending availability of the Commissioner's Gallery Room.
I'll make, go ahead.
So moved, LaShaw.
George, second.
Okie and it's 1:50. Okay, moving on to announcements then. Our secretary position remains vacant. We are actively looking for someone to fill that role. If anyone knows of any interested candidates, please direct them to fill out an application to join the board. Please notify me of any nominees between now and the October meeting, and we can vote on them. I'm sorry, between now and the January meeting, and we can vote on them then. In regards to that, officer elections are coming up, and I will be running again. If you or anyone you know wants to run for an officer position or join our committee, our application is again online. Appointments happen in January and July. Please spread the word. And our next regular business meeting where we'll take care of all the regular committee business will occur January 19th, 2023 at 1 p.m. at the same location, the Commissioner's Gallery Room in the Chesapeake Building at the Leonardtown Government Center.
May I make
Does
an
anyone
announcement?
have any other?
Yes, this is George,
Right.
Tri-County Council. I just want to bring attention to this group that I mentioned 8 months ago that MDOT asked the council for us to take over St. Mary's and Charles County's State Highway Safety Plan. We were awarded that grant from MDOT, and we have a signed contract with a consultant, Hunt and Mead. So I will be reaching out to some people in this office, this room right here, to get a steering committee set up so that we can start working on that state plan that the state of Maryland does require that all counties have done by the end of the year.
Yes. How can this committee maybe work with you or offer our assistance in that regard?
Well, definitely definitely on the steering committee. As you know, we did have one individual that was struck by a van, struck by a car getting off of the STS bus. And of course, this whole state highway safety plan takes in biking, pedestrian, car crashes. It looks at all data. And so I'll be bringing a whole bunch of people, including the St. Mary's County Sheriff officers and STS, Allison, and a few other people will be involved in helping to get this study done. And we have to work with Washington College up in Chester, Maryland, who actually handles a lot of the crash data throughout the state. And just give you a little idea or something, when you look at crash data, they're always 6 months behind, particularly with the numbers, and the reason being is because when you look at fatalities, you may have individuals that are in the hospital in comas or other type of induced, I'm not really sure what the proper term would be, but they don't come out with that data for 6 months so that all can be captured instead of a monthly basis. But just to let you know, we will start that. We're moving forward. Contracts are done and signed, and I will be reaching out soon.
Yes. Appreciate that, George. Are there any further announcements? Hearing none. So with that, I'll wrap this meeting up. Thank you all who attended or listened into this quarter's Transportation Advisory Committee meeting. Recordings will be available online. We hope to see you at the next meeting, special session, December 15th at 1 o'clock in the Commissioner's Gallery Room. And if not there, then on January 19th, 2023, Thursday at 1, Commissioner's Gallery Room. But I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll give you a motion to adjourn, Kevin Corrigan.
I'll second it, George Clark.
Okay, the time is 2 o'clock. Meeting is adjourned. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Yeah.